sold everything I own, left Australia, left a highly successful career, moved to America with 2 suitcases to build an online TV show, and I have a web series to show for this. Yeah, that was it. So you can understand why I'm eating apple pie and I'm under the comfort and I'm having a little bit of a moment and my Kmart meltdown. Because I was fearful, like, well, what if this doesn't work? What if it doesn't pay off? What if nobody watches? What if they watch and they think it's crap? So it takes being willing to step out of your comfort zone, to be fearful. And in those moments, Dr. Seuss comes in really handy. This is one of my favorite excerpts. You'll be on your way. You'll be seeing great sights. You'll join the high flyers who soar to great heights, except when you don't, because sometimes you won't. I'm sorry to say, but sadly it's true that bang-ups and hang-ups can happen to you. You'll go down from the lurch with an unpleasant bump, and then the chances are you'll be in for a slump. And when you're in a slump, you're not in for much fun, because unslumping yourself is not easily done. And so unslumping yourself is something that you have to learn. This is another thing of knowing yourself, figuring out what is it for you that shifts your state. Is it putting on Like a Virgin by Madonna? Is it changing to Katy Perry's Raw or listening to the Rocky anthem? Is it watching a great movie? Is it backing off and just giving yourself a day on the couch with apple pie and letting the tears flow and sitting there and watching some movies? What is it that you need to do to unslump yourself quickly so that you can keep moving forward with your dreams and your desires? Because it will come up at different moments and different times, because it is that journey. And you have to embrace that discomfort. You have to be willing to sink into the discomfort, because anything new is challenging for us. When you're not good at something, oh my gosh, there is nothing worse. So there's this model called conscious competence, conscious incompetence. It's a quadrant, and you Google it and it comes up. And basically you start and you're unconscious of how incompetent you are. This is bliss. This is like the best place to be. Everyone wants to stay here. But if you're doing something new, anything for the first time, anything that stretches you even slightly, you're going to go through to the next quadrant, my favorite corner. You become conscious of how incompetent you are. And let me tell you, this is not fun. It's like, I just hate being in this corner. But what I also know is that it's part of the process. It's a model. That's how it works. If you want to get from quadrant 1 to quadrant 4, you've got to be willing to go through quadrant 2, no matter how much you dislike it. This day and age, everyone wants everything now. Everyone wants everything fast. It doesn't work like that. When you're doing something new, you have to be willing to go through the process of it. You have to be willing to sit there in that discomfort and know that you're not good at it. When I first got up and spoke, so this is something I've been, since I was 15, I've wanted to speak. I've seen all of these amazing speakers. I get up. This is what it was like. I was self-soothing around the groin area. I had such dry mouth that when you watch all the early videos, there's this tapping sound through the audio. It was not good. I had to be conscious of how incompetent I was in front of hundreds of people. But what would have happened if I'd stopped there? I would never have realized my dreams. I would never have achieved what I wanted to achieve. So we have to be willing to be really uncomfortable with people seeing how incompetent we are as well. You know, when I first started speaking, there were people I invited to see me speak who probably would never book me. But I had to be willing to go back to them and say, I've grown. I'm a better presenter now. Come and see me again. I've got better material. That's a hard thing to admit, not just to yourself, but to have to go back to other people and admit it. But what was the choice? Not to say anything, and they wouldn't book me, and they'd probably tell everyone else that I was a terrible presenter. You know, so sometimes you have to be willing to not only be uncomfortable in yourself, but uncomfortable out there in front of other people. You have to be willing to let people see that side.